Hello, this is John Robb here with Witch Fever for an interview about their life during lockdown. Hiya.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah, so the band has been going really well in the last year and a half in Manchester, selling out venues, build up a good reputation, just about to sign a record deal. What could possibly go wrong? The biggest pandemic for 100 years arrived.
Yeah.
What is that? What was that like? Was that like a complete pain in the arse?
Yeah, it's been hard trying to write music together when we can't actually be together. But we're trying to kind of send stuff to each other, but it doesn't really capture the vibe.
No, it's yeah, it's funny because some people I speak to, they find it quite easy to swap files and music around, and that works. But core and the brilliance of Witch Fever, this is a band that you just put in a room, it's explosive, it all comes together. I imagine your best songs, your greatest songs, you probably wrote them in 2 minutes in a room, just because it's a moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah, that is true. But then also we found because we've not been able to see each other, we've had to do it over. We've had to put tracks together over Logic. So it's meant that we're focusing a lot more on the arrangement of songs and how we layer things, which we don't usually do until we're in a studio. So it's actually been quite cool to do that as a pre-production thing.
That's interesting. So it's changing the way you're writing music. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we've got one demo with it's got a drum machine in it and stuff as well. Playing around with the sound a lot more than just our set instruments. Because normally we write purely from a live perspective. It's opens some doors for us, definitely.
So in a way, you're turning this into a positive. I mean, all bands have to evolve and change without spoiling what they do. But here's an opportunity to actually do this. And would you say you're taking this opportunity?
Trying to, trying to make it a positive. I do really just want to play with everyone though.
Yeah, well, it's an awesome live band, and it's frustrating not as a punter not to be able to go and see bands like yours play. I mean, but it must be frustrating for you because you're writing it. Well, you have got the record deal now, I think, haven't you?
It's kind of, I think it's definitely going to happen. We're just trying to sort the kind of final details out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you make a plan? Because normally when you go to a record deal, you sort of plan out the next 2 years, going to do this tour, that tour, put this record out, that record out. It's almost impossible to make a plan now.
Yeah, we're just having to take it slowly, basically. Start with small steps and work up, because obviously we can't really be booked. So the gigs have taken a big backseat, and more of the focus is on writing now and getting recorded tracks down and making them really good. But yeah, it's frustrating, but at the same time it's it's quite nice to slow down and have a lot of time to work on stuff.
Yeah, it's weird that we're going to be signing into something when we've only met the person doing it once for 10 minutes after a gig. As well. We're going to both kind of delving into something when we don't really know each other, but I think it should all be good.
And every conversation, I imagine, is like this in 2D on a laptop.
Yeah.
It's interesting. These are challenging times, and they're challenging for music. But it's interesting to for something like yours, which is very kinetic, to try and find a way of making it survive in these times, and make it work and make a positive out of a negative, really. Would you say? Yeah.
I mean, that's definitely what we're doing.
Yeah, I think we've enjoyed having the time off work to kind of be more creative in ourselves. It's just annoying we can't get together to do it, but I've definitely not working every day and stuff has given me more time to focus my head onto Witch Fever and not have any other distractions.
So ironically, because of the pandemic, you're spending more time on the band than you were before.
Yeah, and having just less stress outside of the band, so I can not. Yeah. It's easier to want to write when I've got not got anything else to do.
What's lockdown life been like for you? You live in Manchester. Whereabouts do you both live in Manchester?
I live in.
Gone.
I live in New Islington, but I've moved to Levenshulme in with my boyfriend. So yeah, but I went home for like 7 weeks to my family home. So it's been interesting moving in with your parents again. It was nice.
What was that like? Was it better or worse than?
It was good. It was good actually. I got a bit more space, and like my brother was home as well, so it felt kind of normal. But yeah, it was weird just having like parents again all the time. We got on
well. Where was that? Whereabouts do your parents live?
In Warwick, like West Midlands. Yeah. It's chill though, like proper sleep routine, eating well, going for walks. Like I feel the healthiest I've felt in years.
Yeah. Now you're back in Manchester, you can let it all slide.
Yeah.
And Amy, where are you?
I'm in Withington.
Yeah.
But I'm moving. So me and my housemate have had to sign to a flat that we've never viewed before because we've got to move out in June. So that's nerve-wracking. But we're moving to like near like where Whitworth Gallery is, so a bit closer to town in about a month.
Yeah, I live really hearing, so I'll be just on the other side. Neighbours.
Oh dear.
So it's a lot of downtime. You spend a lot of time on the band. What else have you been doing? We're interested in the culture that you've been doing. So I guess start with you, Amy. I mean, listen to music. Yeah. Are you listening to the same music as before, or has it kind of changed? Some people find they listen to much more introspective stuff because they're stuck inside all the time, and some people just go completely the way looking for escapism. Or is it all really eclectic? I mean, what's your music listening been like?
I have like there's a few albums that I have been like going back to for like months and months and months. Like if I really love something, I don't stop listening to it. So Angel Olsen, I don't know if you've heard of her. She's like an amazing musician, and she like all her albums I can't stop listening to. And Show Me the Body. We were meant to be playing with them like a month or so ago, but obviously we couldn't. But yeah, I've been like obsessed with Show Me the Body for so many months. So I've basically just had like albums that I really love on repeat, because it's just like, I don't know, it's quite comforting, I guess.
Do you find the way you listen to music has changed as well? Is it much more immersive? Is it complete headphones, eyes shut, let's forget about this the virus madness?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, I'm doing a master's degree at the moment, and we're starting our dissertations now. So I've been mainly using music to like focus on my writing my dissertation, pretty much. That's what I've been doing.
What's your dissertation on?
I do Gothic English Lit.
Oh wow, that's pretty interesting. That in a minute when we get to books. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are you listening to?
I've been having to, because I've been with my family, like listen to family-friendly music, kind of. So I've been listening to Baxter Jewelry's album a lot. My dad's really into like prog rock, so I've been having to listen to a bit of that. But kind of going back to stuff I used to enjoy when I was younger, like classics like The Doors, stuff like that. Just nice like background music. I've not been able to listen to music in the same like immersive way I normally would because I've been just with people all the time. But it's been nice. Been listening to a lot of Boy Harsher as always, which my mum weirdly loves. But yeah, just chill music, nothing too heavy.
Now you're back in Manchester. Is that changing as well, or you?
Well, I literally got back like day before yesterday, so I'm still setting into it. But yeah, I think I'll be putting on some more heavy stuff for sure.
Do you play much at home? Do you play your bass much?
My bass is actually at the practice room, but my dad had guitars at home, so I was playing with his guitars and stuff. It was nice actually writing on a guitar again as well, because obviously I just write riffs on the bass typically with Witch Fever. Yeah, I think it's been a nice time for us to all like experiment with playing different instruments and like not just having to like approach things completely differently. I think when we go back to playing together, we'll probably bring some of it back into how we write now, for sure.
Yeah, I'm quite fascinated by the cultural shift this period is going to have. You know, grown up through one cultural shift of punk, which is about 1% of what this is, and that changed a lot of things. But this has got to change a lot, massively, innit? Like, you're already talking about the way the band writes, the way you play music is changing. And this it's going to happen all the way across the board, but you can't really tell yet because we're in the middle of it. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to appreciate like every single gig I get to do after this. I miss it so much. Yeah. I just want to like jump about on stage somewhere. If you've been playing to like 5 people, I'm gonna go mental.
I think only 5 people are going to be allowed in. Yeah,
well, exactly.
There's going to be 500 outside. Yeah. So Amy, go back to books again. You're doing a degree in Gothic literature. So do you spend your time reading a lot of Gothic literature, or is that just too much close to your course and you just read comics instead?
So yeah, we do, because like the course has essentially ended now and we're just like rounding off with essays. Like I've read over the past, like since September, I've read like we've had to read like maybe 2 books a week at least, which is a lot, but I love it because I love reading. But at the moment, I'm writing an essay on Annihilation, which is a film that was out on it was on Netflix, I think, but it was first a book. So I've been writing an essay on that, and my dissertation is about pregnancy in horror. So my like main book has been it's called Women, Monstrosity and Horror Film, and it's called gyna horror, which is like the term for like anything to do with vaginas basically in horror film. So yeah, it's very interesting.
What's the take on that? Is that meant to be a horror thing, or is it?
What do you mean?
It's in the strange world of mass media. Is that presented? Is childbirth meant to be something horrific, or I don't see it?
Well, that's what I'm looking into basically, because like the way that pregnancy and childbirth is presented in a lot of, I mean, not even horror film, just like film in general, it's generally like quite horrific and traumatic, and generally in like Western films, it's generally an attractive thin white woman, and it's like shows her body being sort of deformed and sort of she's like stripped of who she is for this pregnancy. So yeah, I mean, I'm still like in the research stage, but that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, there's nothing weirder than normality, is there? I mean, so what couple of Gothic writers you would recommend to the viewers here?
Oh God,
it's not the best. It doesn't matter. We're not going to hold you to it forever.
At the moment, my favourites are Stephen King, obviously. He's amazing. It and Carrie are like 2 of my favourites from him. There's Margaret Atwood, who wrote The Handmaid's Tale, which is obviously a classic. She's amazing. And one of my favourites is a short story called The Yellow Wallpaper, by Charlotte Perkins Gilman, I think, which is about basically like in sort of 19th century women that had mental health problems. They called it hysteria and like put them on bed rests, so they weren't allowed to do anything at all. So it's about a woman that like goes mad because of that. Yeah, very interesting. I'm very interested in like feminist texts, as you can probably tell.
There's a whole tradition of female Gothic literature in the 18th and 19th century that's not that known, isn't there? Yeah. So what are you reading? Are you reading the same kind of thing, or?
I've been reading a bit, like George Bataille is one of my favourite philosophers. So I've been reading, I hadn't actually read his main book, Story of the Eye, but I've been reading that. It's a lot about like transgression, sin. Like he was a pretty horrible misogynist in how he writes, but like if you look past that, it's really interesting. I've not been reading too much though. I think I prefer reading when I've almost like been busier and I come back to it. Do you know what I mean? Like having all of this time, I'm like, oh, I'll just do it later. because there's always later. But yeah, that's what I've been reading.
A lot of people have been saying it's really hard to concentrate, even though there's a lot of downtime. There's the underlying uncertainty and stress of this time makes it, on one level, it makes it quite easy to escape into a book. On another level, it makes it really, really difficult to even get into the book. Yeah,
because there's no structure of when I can't do it. So I've worked well under pressure. Definitely, I need to know there's a point where I can't do something, or when something's got to be handed in or whatever, and then I'll do it just before that. Like having this abundance of time. I'm just happy sat on my ass all day. So would you say Witch Fever are quite a well-read band?
Yeah,
I think so. Annabelle reads a lot as well, our drummer. I think me and Alicia don't read quite as much, but I think we're quite a nerdy band.
Yeah.
In some ways. Yeah.
I like that kind of contradiction. I mean, it's obviously when you, from the first time you see the band, you can tell there's a deep intelligence there. But the music's like really primal. I think you have to actually be very smart and well-read to make music that primal. I mean, do you see that kind of interesting dichotomy that's going on there?
Yeah, I think especially with Amy's lyrics, definitely. I think it's a lot about sort of like, I don't want to speak for you, but like religion, and like it's quite like developed concepts of what she tends to write about. Like I think a lot of her lyrics like fit together. There's like a development there, definitely.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Oh, I know.
Does it matter if people can actually hear the lyrics at all? You know, in the maelstrom of the live sounds.
Well, yeah. I mean, I put a lot into the lyrics, and the lyrics are always like very meaningful. So yeah, it does upset me sometimes that I know people won't be able to really hear what I'm saying because it's so loud, but
I have no idea what you're saying half the time. Like, sometimes I've gone into the studio and I've got the lyric sheet written and I'm like, oh, that's what it is. Like, I had no idea before that.
Yeah, maybe great lyrics are the hidden surprise that when somebody gets really into a band, they go, oh wow, they've got great lyrics as well. Yeah, it's like another little world that opens up. I'm just looking at all great. I mean, first time you see Birthday Party, you have no idea that the lyrics are really good. But when you find out they are, then the whole thing goes up 10 levels.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that is great. Yeah.
So you're watching much TV and films and Netflix, etc.?
Yes, I've been watching quite a lot of TV. RuPaul's Drag Race, there's a new season on at the minute. So I've been watching that for years and years. But yeah, that's kind of, I feel like it's almost like watching sport. If you're like really into football, it can be like really into like Drag Race. It's kind of like a similar vibe as like men being into sports, I guess. Yeah. Super into it though.
Yeah, so what else? Is that it, or is there other stuff? I mean, are you watching a lot of the news, or are you just giving up on it because it's so unrelenting?
I've been watching the like 5 o'clock briefing, but I'm just kind of bored of it now. I kind of feel like it's like the government just giving itself a pat on the back at 5 o'clock every day, a little bit. Yeah, I feel like I'm just kind of like numb to it all now. A lot of it.
Yeah.
It's like,
I started watching. Go on, sorry.
No, you go.
When like all this started, I was like because I live with our drummer Annabelle at the moment and her girlfriend, and we were watching the news like every single night without fail. But now I've just stopped because I feel like I keep up to date with the important things that I need to know, but I mean, obviously Boris Johnson is a fuckhead, so like I'm not interested in seeing him. So yeah, I've found myself like a lot less stressed when I've not been watching the news. We've been watching a lot of Gogglebox in this house, which has been very enjoyable.
So you're using TV more as an escapism?
Yeah, totally.
I've definitely been watching. Yeah, I've definitely been watching way more TV than normal. Definitely. I normally wouldn't watch TV much at all. Yeah.
And what about online? Are you finding yourself more on the internet or less, or
less?
Yeah,
way less. I found like now I can't actually see my friends. I don't like even just replying to messages that just find it difficult. I don't know. I'm not really like a huge texter and stuff anyway. And like, I'd rather just wait and then see my friends in person than like try and keep up with everyone online a lot. Yeah, definitely. I'm rubbish at replying to people.
Yes, you are.
That was terrible.
I mean, what do you say? It's like you haven't seen someone for 2 weeks and they go, what have you been up to? And you go, nothing really.
Yeah. I can't wait to not talk about coronavirus. It's going to be years before anyone talks about anything different.
Yeah, I thought Brexit was boring enough, but Jesus. Yeah, so Amy, you spend a lot of time online, or?
I am actually, to be fair. Like, because I'm still doing uni work and I can't go to the library, I get distracted very easily at home. So it's taken me like 10 times longer to get anything done than it normally does. But yeah, I have to like put my phone in a drawer and like lock it away sometimes, because it's just Instagram, man. Like, I can't stop scrolling. I just love it. Like, and like just chatting, because it's so easy to just chat to everyone so instantly on Instagram, and I'm always on it. It's bad. It's bad, really.
You got to have a little break from your dark mixture. Oh, brilliant! Well, that's all the stuff I need there. So, yeah. So
amazing. How are you doing?
Yeah. What have you been up to?
I've never been busier, actually. I've been because you can send files around. I've just got loads of little side projects going on with music. It's quite ironic, really. You could do more music like you are, but you could do less with it, can't you? You can't play anywhere.
Yeah. I feel like people are either not working or they're working more than they've ever worked before. I think there's like no difference.
No, that's the category, but there's no money, just earning nothing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
I think we're all on furlough, so just chilling.
I've got that one. Is that it? I thought it was going to be a bit more than that. At least I was writing a book about goth music and goth culture. I finally managed to finish it because I had so much downtime. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
Maybe you should write a book, Amy. You could do that.
Yeah, you should definitely. Well,
God.
It's great when you finish it. Yeah.
Yeah. I bet.
The woman who's editing it, she's a lecturer in Gothic literature at Lincoln University.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
So I knew because I did a bit in the book about that, so I knew a bit about it. So, but her speciality subject is Victorian funerals. That's what she's really into.
Oh, interesting. What's the name?
Kate Cherrill.
Okay, nice.
Yes, I'll send a little link over if you want.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, she's really hot on all literature stuff. Yeah, it's because she goes around doing all lectures on that and the funerals. Yeah.
Yeah. Nice and happy.
Well, in life you have to embrace death, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all part of birth, life, death. It's all the same thing, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, cool. So, well, all right. So I look forward to seeing you both on the other side of this. I'm sure by the autumn,
hopefully soon. Hopefully sooner rather than later.
I think in the autumn there will be gigs. It just won't be normal gigs. You know, there'll be gigs where everyone has to be super careful, which isn't really what we're into this for.
It's not really our genre, is it? Yeah.
At least it's a gig. 10 people in the room and a band have to stand 20 feet apart, but at least
I feel like most of the stages we play, we wouldn't be able to social distance on tiny stages.
Right now, people working ways out of how to get around this. Even you have to put perspex between each person. I don't know. It's all a bit weird and shit, but it's better than nothing, innit? Because I think always in a band you have to work with what's in front of you, don't you? You know, if you've got a crap PA, you still play a great gig. If you've got a weird gig where there's only 10 people allowed in and you all have to stand 20 feet apart, you can still make it great. It's just a challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
So by the autumn, I'd imagine you'd have played something somewhere. Yeah.
Hopefully, I think we have something booked in for September, but I don't think that's going to be happening. We'll see.
Yeah,
hopefully some more outside gigs or something. It's just annoying because it'll be getting into winter, but I'm sure people wear coats to prevent they come to a gig.
Everyone, well, there's weird car gigs, shit, but at least or people will just wear big coats and people go, fuck it, I'm still going to go because I'm so bored.
Yeah.
I want to make things happen, isn't it? So yeah, so cool. So and good luck with the record deal, getting that sorted out.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And look forward to hearing your lockdown songs. Yeah. All right then, nice one.
All right.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.